The moment of Johnny Bench's retirement is worth noting, not just because of his individual achievements, which will one day place him in the Hall of Fame, but because when Johnny Bench leaves, so will an era in 20th century American mythology. I'm Jerry Springer. The world changed, so we shouldn't be surprised that our colleges did too. We'll talk about it.
He's not here, of course, to celebrate his 50th birthday. He wouldn't have been if no one had the chance to see that.
Indeed, after conflicting testimony as to whether or not he gave permission to sell arms to Iran in exchange for hostages, President Reagan now says he doesn't remember. But rather the simple courage of those 5 human beings who strapped themselves into the capsule for life's ultimate Olympic event. But maybe her greatest gift was what she taught us grown-ups, from the homespun simplicity of a noontime television set, that life is best and most meaningful when we take care of each other.
But if we open up the right to die to those who simply aren't what they used to be, where the substance of life seems lost, then where do you draw the line?
But as sincere as these guys might be, to the folks on the streets and in the ghettos and on the unemployment line, living poor, real poor, to them it's all a bunch of words and promises never kept. Be it as a mayor, an anchor, or a commentator, whatever it took, I was determined to have you know that I was more than a check and a hooker on a one-night stand. Take care of yourself and each other. This is America. You're free to live, and with certain restrictions, you are free to die. But we're not free to take others with us. It's degrading, humiliating, and immature joke continued into adulthood, reminding women that they're basically property, a trophy, buffed and shined, much like a new car. We ought to know better. We ought to respect women more. Indeed, since the age of 13, I have loved being with a woman. I've just never wanted to be one. But I also understand that my frame of reference does not encompass all human experience or circumstance. And yet, though I'm sure there are exceptions, the relationship of prostitutes and pimps exists as the ultimate manifestation of a woman's lack of power. It's absurd to argue a cult's rights under the Freedom of Religion Clause of the First Amendment when a child of the cult is being denied his right to believe or practice anything other than what is dictated by the group. But let's not pretend that people aren't being hurt here. They are. Fat people are being laughed at and discriminated against. And in America, while that's still legal, it's not funny. How can we possibly conclude otherwise than that if someone says she's a lesbian, it can only be because in the deepest recesses of her being, uncontrollably, she is. But if you've been mistreated and you choose to stick around, know that he's already demonstrated the ability to hurt you. And what has happened in the interim to make you think that he wouldn't do it again? But being forgiven does not necessarily mean that the relationship can be saved, particularly if what you're revealing alters how your lover now views you. Is a relationship over? If neither of you want it to be, it isn't. It takes 2 to get together. It takes the same 2 to stay together.
While the kids of Compton dodged bullets, the kids of 90210 dodged retail. Yet they were all residents of La La Land.
The truth is, as hard as it is to admit, none of this would be a problem if your loved one would simply tell the other guy or girl to get lost.
There's never been a moment in the 25 years of doing this show that I ever thought I was better than the people who appear on our stage. I'm not better, only lucky.